You're successful, capable, and by most measures, doing well in life. People see you as driven, reliable, someone who gets things done. But inside? Inside, you're running on a hamster wheel that never stops, chasing a feeling of enough that stays just out of reach. Your achievements feel hollow. Your accomplishments feel like accidents. Your praise feels like lies people tell to be nice. What if I told you that this feeling, this chronic sense of not being good enough, isn't your weakness? What if it's actually been your secret engine all along? You know this feeling intimately. It's the voice that whispers, "But what if you fail?" right after someone compliments your work. It's the way you deflect praise with, "Oh, it was nothing," or "I just got lucky." It's the compulsive need to check your work 17 times before submitting it, the way you say sorry for things that aren't your fault, the constant mental inventory of everything you could have done better. You're tired. Not just physically tired, soul tired. Tired of feeling like you're performing your own life instead of living it. Tired of moving the goalposts every time you get close to them. Tired of feeling like a fraud who's somehow convinced everyone else you're competent. You achieve something meaningful, and instead of celebrating, you immediately think, "What's next? What do I need to prove now?" The relief of accomplishment lasts about as long as a sugar high. Brief, artificial, and followed by a crash that leaves you hungrier than before. Your relationships suffer because you can't believe people could love you for who you are, so you love them for who you think they need you to be. You're generous to a fault, reliable to a fault, selfless to a fault, because maybe, just maybe, if you're useful enough, you'll finally be valuable enough. The cruelest part? You've probably been told to just be confident, or stop being so hard on yourself. As if decades of conditioning could be undone with a motivational quote and some positive thinking. Here's what no one tells you about feeling not good enough. You don't feel inadequate because you are inadequate. You feel inadequate because you're carrying the weight of impossible standards that were never yours to begin with. That voice in your head that says you're not good enough, it's not your voice. It's an echo of every person who made love conditional, every system that told you your worth was tied to your productivity, every moment you learned that being yourself wasn't quite right. You weren't born feeling inadequate. You were born whole, curious, and enough exactly as you were. But somewhere along the way, you absorbed the message that love, acceptance, and belonging had to be earned. That you had to prove your worth instead of simply existing in it. The feeling of not enough isn't a character flaw. It's evidence that you've been measuring yourself against standards that were designed to keep you striving, not thriving. Here's the thing that will blow your mind. Your feeling of not good enough has been the fuel for everything you've accomplished. Think about it. Every late night you stayed up perfecting a project. Every time you went above and beyond what was asked. Every moment you pushed yourself harder than everyone around you. That wasn't random motivation. That was your not enough, driving you to prove you were worthy. Your inadequacy has been your secret superpower. It's made you more empathetic because you know what it feels like to struggle. More hardworking, because you feel you have to earn your place. More detail-oriented, because you can't afford to make mistakes. More generous because you give what you wish you could receive. The very thing that makes you feel broken has been making you exceptional. But here's the catch. You've been running on borrowed energy, and the loan is coming due. You probably thought that if you just achieved enough, accomplished enough, or proved yourself enough times, the feeling would go away. That's why it's so devastating when you reach a goal and still feel empty. When you get the promotion and still feel like an imposter. When you achieve something you've wanted for years and feel nothing. This happens because you're trying to fill an external hole with internal validation. Imagine trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. You can pour water in all day, but it will never stay full. The hole isn't the bucket's fault, it's just how it was made. Your not enough feeling is the same. It's not a problem to be solved through achievement, it's a wound to be healed through understanding. The feeling of inadequacy isn't based on what you lack, it's based on a fundamental misunderstanding of what makes you valuable in the first place. Your nervous system developed this not enough feeling as a survival mechanism. When you were young and dependent on others for safety and love, your brain figured out how to keep you safe. If I'm really, really good, if I never make mistakes, if I always put others first, then I won't be abandoned. It wasn't neurosis, it was intelligence. Your brain developed a strategy to ensure your survival, and it worked. You did survive. You did thrive. You did become someone capable and accomplished. But now you're using childhood survival strategies in adult situations where they no longer serve you. You're still trying to earn love that should be unconditional, still trying to prove worth that should be inherent, still trying to achieve safety that can only come from within. The little kid inside of you is still working overtime to make sure you're not rejected, abandoned, or found lacking. They're still trying to solve a problem that was never theirs to solve. 1. Separate your worth from your work. Your value as a human being has nothing to do with your productivity, your achievements, or how useful you are to others. This isn't just a nice idea. It's a fundamental truth that our society has trained you to forget. Practice. For 1 week, notice every time you tie your worth to what you do instead of who you are. When you catch yourself thinking, I'm valuable because I accomplished X, reframe it as, I accomplished X because I'm valuable. Journal prompt. Write about a time when you felt loved or accepted for who you were, not what you did. If you can't think of one, write about how you love others. Is it for their achievements or for their essence? 2. Parent the part of you that feels not enough. The part of you that feels inadequate isn't your enemy. It's a younger version of yourself that's still scared and trying to keep you safe. Instead of fighting this part, try caring for it. Practice. When you notice the not enough feeling arising, pause and ask, what does this part of me need right now? Maybe it needs reassurance. Maybe it needs to feel seen. Maybe it just needs to be told it's okay to rest. Daily ritual. Each morning, spend 30 seconds giving yourself the kind of encouragement you needed as a child. Not for what you might accomplish that day, but for who you are in this moment. Imagine your sense of self as a house. For years, you've been building the most beautiful exterior, impressive achievements, helpful behaviors, perfect performances, but you've been neglecting the foundation. The foundation of self-worth isn't what you do, it's who you are. It's not your accomplishments, it's your inherent value as a human being. It's not your usefulness to others, it's your right to exist and take up space simply because you're here. This foundation work is slower and less visible than building the exterior, but it's what determines whether your house will stand strong or crumble under pressure. In a world that profits from your insecurity, feeling enough is a radical act. Every time you say, I did my best and that's enough, you're rebelling against systems designed to keep you striving for more, buying more, achieving more. Your not enough feeling isn't personal, it's cultural. You live in a society that has commodified worth, that tells you you're only as valuable as your last achievement, that measures your success by metrics that were never designed to capture your true value. The most revolutionary thing you can do is to stop measuring yourself by standards that were never meant to free you, only to fuel you. You don't have to choose between being driven and being at peace. You can keep your ambition while releasing your desperation. You can continue growing while accepting where you are. The difference is in the energy behind your actions. When you're driven by not enough, you're running from something. Fear, inadequacy, rejection. When you're driven by wholeness, you're running towards something. Growth, contribution, joy. Same destination, completely different journey. You've been searching for an enough in all the wrong places, in other people's approval, in achievement, in perfection. But enough isn't something you find. It's something you remember. You were born enough. You were enough when you took your first breath, when you learned to walk, when you said your first word. You were enough on your worst days and your best days on your productive days, and your rest days on the days when you felt like you were conquering the world, and the days when getting out of bed felt like a victory. You are enough right now. Not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. Not because you've earned it, but because it's your birthright. The feeling of not enough served you for a time. It kept you safe, it made you strong, it pushed you to grow. But now it's time to graduate from survival to thriving, from proving to being, from earning your place to knowing you belong. You've been running toward finish lines that keep moving. What if you stopped running and realized you were already home? The child in you who first felt not enough is still waiting for someone to say, "You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You don't have to achieve to be worthy. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, including yourself." That someone is you. And you? You are enough. You have always been enough. You will always be enough. The only thing left to do is believe it.